Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I washed my eyebrows off. Except one side. But I only have eyebrows on one side, which is weird. But hey, we'll just go with it. It's too hot. It's too hot, baby. It's just too hot. Whew. Man, fires are burning. Life is getting hot. Riots in northern England. 40, I think, what was it on? Oh, just it total chaos. Just total chaos. But, you know, uh, the Republican Party's united, and Trump won the nominee, which we all knew he would, anyways. But on that point, I wanted to talk to you about psychic ability and your psychic ability. And there is a TikToker that I follow and on YouTube, and it's a Museum of Tarot. Now, I love this guy because he brings in facts, right? He's not just shooting off from his ass. And yes, he's spiritual. Yes, he believes that there is, believes in the energies and the frequencies and things like that. But he also brings in scientific information about it, and I just love that. Because it's like one thing that, when somebody comes in and says, oh, I just received this from blah blah blah, I sometimes kind of like, okay, that's wonderful, that's great, I'm not going to deny that you did, but sometimes I'm just like, I just don't believe them, but that's just me, you know but he was saying, because they started this test, and it's a scientific test that people signed up from all over the world to test their psychic ability. And in testing their psychic ability on, what they are receiving and things like that, and then they correlate it, and it's all done, like they don't like write it all down, it's all done scientifically, that to receive information, if they all receive sort of the same information around the same time point. Well, in September, 800 psychics all received basically the same information about the assassination attempt on Trump. They all had different things, that it would hit his right ear. They all said that different information. It would be in Pennsylvania, somewhere in the Northeast in the United States. But they all joined in, and they all said, all 800, it was like 100% unanimous that it was an attempt and it would not unlive him. And so with that correlation, they thought that was very interesting. They had somewhat of a timeline. That one was sort of shady, which can happen with when you're doing things to do with predictions and things to do with your psychic ability. Now, how it was explained is that the waves are kind of like liquid. They're liquid, right? And as you, and this is, and I get this because this is being a psychic, I understand this totally. Because, when people say, I need you to pinpoint a time, and I'm like, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But if that, I'm going to say, gateway for that particular timeline isn't solidified yet, right? Then it's sort of hard to pinpoint. But once it comes into like a solidification, something happens that it's sort of like, yeah, I'm picking right up on that frequency, and that's a definite yes. I know that's a yes, or I know that's an absolute no. And it has to do with how it gets, I'm going to say, solidified. And I found it so informative when he was explaining it. Now, you can go into the Museum of Tarot on his TikTok. You can find him on YouTube and stuff. And he, sometimes he'll say things to you that because of your belief system, it'll jolt you, right? Like Dolores Cannon. He's proved a lot of things with Dolores Cannon to be not a conspiracy, but a lot of the information that she received and how she received the information. So he debunked a lot with Dolores Cannon. He debunked a lot of things to do with the Course of Miracles and what was behind the Course of Miracles, and who who brought the Course in Miracles forward. Same with Dolores Cannon, who she was working with and things like that. And you begin to start seeing like more of an objective view when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to information that people come through with, right? And because of the people or the organizations that are behind certain things when they come through, it's where you you really begin to question, right? You begin to question, where did they get the information? How did they get this information? And so forth. And so that's one of the reasons why I like him. Just an FYI, he will trigger you. And then you got to ask, why is that triggering you? Okay? Because I know a lot of you guys are Dolores Cannon fans, and I love some things of Dolores Cannon, but other things, you know, when it comes to Dolores Cannon, really like, kind of like, I found him interesting, but you know, when I sit back and think, and I go back to how I was feeling when she was talking, it's sort of like, not too sure about her. Like, you know, when because she's quite, you know, people just love her and everything else, and especially in the spiritual community and stuff. So this is where I feel, and especially with how things are coming in this week, Mars is at 29 degrees, right? And we have the sun in an opposition to Pluto. This is extreme frequencies coming in. You know, these energies are taking us to a catapultic edge, and off of that edge, what I see is like a black forest that we have to go through. And going into this is where we have to really come in to hold our values, to continue to hold our frequencies, because of the changes that are coming forth today. I mean, I got the alert at 3 a.m. this morning about IT, a lot of IT going down, and it went down by this one IT company just dismantled airports, hospitals, banking. You know, waking up to a blue screen on your computer is not fun. I've had that happen many times. What happened? And they are, you know, crowd spearing, I think it's called. The company's called Crowd Spearing. It's called, and it's within Microsoft. Well, Microsoft runs a majority of the systems in the world, right? So when it comes to like flights being delayed, and I said to people, when people say, "Oh, well, I'm going to go fly," I'm like, okay, I can't guarantee you. I mean, this is one of those things that nobody could have predicted. You know, we knew something was going to happen. We knew there's craziness that's going to happen with Uranus, and Uranus sitting on Algol and still vibrating there. And with Pluto being at 0 degrees, we know that things are just, you know, going to take off in weird ways, but we weren't sure how. So now we're seeing this. So this is about energy, about going forward. But here it is, where a lot of companies are saying we're only taking cash right now, which is kind of hilarious because, you know, the government wants to go into a, you know, an online currency. With this, if you had no cash, you can't do anything. This is where, when I was telling people, you know, about going on vacations, and a lot of people are thinking about going on vacations in the fall or even into next year, I'm just like, I personally wouldn't do it. But it's your life. You got to do what you got to do, right? But with things like this happening, and with how things are going, you know, moving, and delays that are going on, and this is like people going in to the Hong Kong airport or Dubai and saying, sorry, come back tomorrow. Well, we can't come back tomorrow because we don't have a hotel room anymore, and we have no place to go. So people are stranded all over the world right now from this, right? And so being stranded all over the world because of these things. So this is about us allowing ourselves to really holding into who we are, holding our values. This is where the unconscious is going to be running rapid and people are going to be going freaky. We are going to be seeing the step down of Joe Biden. Obviously, he has COVID. So that's putting the whole Democratic Party in chaos. A lot of people say, well, that has nothing to do with us. Yeah, it does, because what happens in the States, I mean, like it or not, they're the empire that rules the world. They're the law keepers of the world, just like the Roman Empire was, just like the English were, the Spanish were, the Portuguese were. So is the United States. Think about it. Why is there no military other than the Americans in America? Why is the military, why do they have a posting in Japan? Why do they have a posting in the UK? Why do they have all these postings in the Philippines? If you think about it, they're occupying them. They've been occupying them since after World War II, and in Germany. Germany's been occupied by the United States since World War II. So we have this. This is why this is so important to be watching and understanding how these frequencies are taking place. And it comes back down to where your values and keeping with your values. This is a lot of fated life force, especially with Mars squaring into Uranus. And this part of this fated life force is that you got to really stay positive and not be freaking out. I mean, it's just like with the internet going down and waking up to a blue screen. I mean, you can't be freaking out about this. This is about, okay, what are the steps that I can do? Is there other means that I can get my information out? I feel sorry for a lot of companies, because a lot of companies, this is going to be such a detriment to them, right? Where if they were just running on non-cash and just online sales, this could flatten their line where they're not going to get those sales, right? Because people are unable to do it or they're unable to pay. If you go on your app like TD, BMO, if you go on your app of RBC or anything like that, there's a warning sign on them saying that they're having a high volume call. Again, this is coming back to oneself. This is coming back to, some things you just don't have control over. Like nobody had control over that company who had its software in all, in a lot of Microsoft. You don't have control over that. But what you do have control over is oneself. You do have control over how your reaction is going to be, how you are taking that information. It's just like, when you see a lot of these people who are, big spiritualists and psychics and etc., like the one bald dude who channels aliens. First time I saw him, I thought, okay, interesting. He's saying some things that are like, all right. But then after a while, I started listening. I'm like, why is he annoying me? What is going on there? And going in and then just doing my own little research, listening to what other people had to say. And that's the thing. You got to listen to both sides, right? Not everybody likes me. And that's okay, because I rub them the wrong way. They don't like what I say. They don't like how I say it. Or, years ago, I lost a lot of people for using the F word and saying, fuck, and swearing a lot. And they just didn't like it because spiritualists aren't supposed to fucking swear. Well, that was too fucking bad because I fucking swear. So, that's fine. That's the way that they feel. And it's honoring that. And this is where we're coming in, where we're going to see some positive things. They're going to be very faded. But we got to be in a good place. We got to be in a very good place. I can't stand the bald-headed alien guy, the one that has the triangle. Yes, him. Yeah, I can't stand him either. Plus, the thing is, when COVID came about, he was telling everybody to get the shot. It's okay. You can get the shot. You could see how the ego came in, right? Because of fear. And that's the whole thing. That's the same part, with the people I follow in astrology. Not everybody likes the people I follow in astrology because they're hardcore, right? They're hardcore and they say things and they're not part of the mainstream astrologers. And if you're not, and a lot of them, I mean, I think just recently they just had the convention for astrology, and on their site you had to go for a COVID test. Like, these are fucking astrologers. First of all, haven't you guys looked at the astrology and the bullshit that's coming out? And if you have COVID and blah blah blah, and they had all of this up, right? And of course, it was in Washington State. I say that because they are very, um, they're a Democratic one, and they believed full heartedly in the shot and whatever. Fine, but these are people who read and map the stars, and that's what I'm saying. See how they see things totally different. And the people I follow are like ones who, like, they map the stars too, but then they look into the history and they're like, okay, when this and this happens, look at, I could, and then bring you the evidence that every time, when Jupiter does this and in this sign, this is usually what happens, right? These are the frequencies that come through. Same with what, we are now closing off. And as Pluto goes into Capricorn, can't stop it. It's going to do it at 29 degrees. And where the sun is hitting, we're ending a lot of things from 4.5 years ago. Hence, Biden got COVID, right? He can't do anything. He's a frail old man. He can't do nothing, right? He got COVID. So, I mean, very good excuse to saying bye-bye, and no longer he's going to be, doing the presidency. And all in a play for, it's all, of course, it's all politics and all of that kind of craziness. But this is where it's like understanding that a lot of things we don't have the control over. It's providence. We have to use the divine providence that is coming through, and allow ourselves to watch where our ego is, and watch in the direction that our ego takes us. Because a lot of times we can get our shit in a knot and say, well, that's fucking stupid. I don't believe that. No, and you can get very angry about it. And you can feel the animosity and stuff grow inside of you, instead of taking that step back and saying, okay, what are they saying? And why is this triggering? What belief system inside of me is causing that? And what fear is inside of me that's causing that? This weekend is a huge trigger weekend. We will have at 3 a.m. Sunday morning, I think that's Pacific time, so 2 a.m. our time, a full moon in Capricorn. It is starting already. We see it at night. That moon is getting to its fullness. The apex is at 2 a.m. We're feeling that energy. We're feeling the cosmos coming forth and the changes that are coming in and disrupting. I love how the universe and how the astrology has put at the beginning and the end of Capricorn 2 full moons. It's showing you and highlighting what has happened between 2008 and 2024. What have we learned in that time? What has been let go in that time? And what is it that you need to let go of? And what do you need to really work on and allow for yourself to be what you need to be in your life, right? With everything happening, it's not watching mental health play out in front of us, changing our world. We need truth. We need ethics. We need healthy people leading our government and media. Absolutely. And that's why you're finding everything going to hell in a handbasket. I hate autocorrect, yes. But that's the whole thing. It is. It's the health. It's the mentality. We're seeing people crumble mentally. Why? Because they can't handle the truth. They can't handle criticism. They can't handle a lot of things that are going on. And this is awakening and saying, this is where we have to go. We need those people to crumble in order for others to come to the light and take up the arms. And sometimes that is like, well, I don't want to fucking do it. Give it to somebody else. I don't want to do that job. But it's part of it, right? It's part of our journey. It's part of this, right? People need to wake up, and they are. And you're going to find 2024 is not the year of saying, oh, I just wanted an easy peasy year. No. And neither will 2025, right? It's not going to be an easy year. This is a year of total disruption and mayhem and look at what's happening in Northern England right now, and in Ireland too. I mean, Ireland, I mean, they just pissed off all of the Irish, and they're just, wanting to throw out all the illegals that have come into the country. And there was a woman. Now, just think about this: in Leeds, in Northern England, threw her baby out the window. That's what she did. Okay, somebody called, to take the baby into the hospital. They see what happened to the baby. So, what do you think the hospital is going to do? They're going to call social services, because there's a reason. We have certain things, like social services. It's because some people are not mentally sound to be able to take care of their children. And they went into the home and they found 5 other children that really needed help. This is a Romanian gypsy family. And for them doing that and stepping in caused a huge riot, turned over police cars, blew up a transit. The whole street went into chaos. And one MP who was just elected, but he's elected in the Green Party in Parliament in the UK, but his main goal is to bring in Gaza as a country and pass laws, and he's a Muslim. Say more. No offense, but I just but his thing was and he was there in the middle of it. Now I'm thinking, if you're an MP and you supposedly have all this power, you should be up there and saying to the people, come on, calm down. Let us have, let's make peace here. But he was in the middle of it. And I think he should be accountable or even arrested for what he did. That's my opinion, but we'll see how the new Labour Party in the UK handle it. But you need that. You need to be witnessing bullshit like that to awaken. You need to see that, because otherwise people won't believe you. And that's where we're at in this weekend. And of course, with everything going down, and of course it's on a Friday, because there's no IT, and most companies don't even have IT. And they have a bot that you talk to, but you can't talk to the bot because the computer's not working. So you can't get into anything. God help us. So moon readings are coming out tomorrow. I'll be doing the moon readings on tomorrow, and some of them will be coming out on Sunday. So just pay attention to your inbox for your moon readings. They are on sale right now because it's my Sunday special for the moon readings to be $30. So moon readings will be coming out. So check your inboxes. And if anybody wants to order one, I'm going to allow for maybe 2 more, and then that's it. So one, because it's just, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of work. And I'll think about what the following Sunday's special is. I don't know what it is yet. Let's get through this weekend. It's just so. Okay. Cards are jumping out like crazy. Don't mess with the Irish. No, don't mess with us. We'll fucking break you. This is these are people that had the IRA, okay? That blew up people and shit. So shit. So we get the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands comes in. So there is something new. There's some new passion. There's something about going forward, the energy going forward. Definitely there's a movement of, let's progress, let's do it. But you got to do it within your values. You can't let your ego go amok, right? You have the wisdom. The wisdom is there, right? The wisdom's there. So you can't let it go amok, right? That's right. At the redhead as well, and the strawberry blondes. Yes. Well, I'm not a redhead, but But I know, don't fuck with those 3%ers, right? And then we have my granddad is Irish. He's still very much Irish in spirit. Of course, yeah. You can't take the spirit of Irish out of them. I mean, do you know that there's that around the world, there's more the population of the Irish have populated more of the world than any other culture. So you go anywhere, like there's more people outside of Ireland than there is in Ireland, right? So I mean, oh, it was only his redheaded granddaughter. you know, um, I didn't get the red hair, my brother did, and he was a redhead, a definite redhead. And we got, of course, there's a lot of heat coming in. So in comes the passion, in comes the Knight of Wands. But when I see the pyramids in the back, the pyramids are about acknowledging the wisdom that you have. The pyramids hold wisdom, they hold knowledge. So trusting in that wisdom and knowledge that you are receiving and that you have, right? And this isn't about being pushed around. This isn't about being, you know, that person that doesn't, that can be a doormat. This is about being a doormat. I mean, this is about rebellious. This is being rebellious. This person is about, you know, invention. This is about a person that's envisioning their future. What is my future? Now, you might be saying, well, I can't look at my future. Look at the world. The state of the world is shitty. Yeah, the state of the world is shitty. But that's where there is a positive. That's why you have to come in and know your God, know your divineness, know your providence, know that divine wisdom within inside of you. If you're not sure of it, get into a meditation and prayer practice so you can start trusting it. And then you have to go forward and allow that light to shine. This is about daring. This is about going forward. This is that suave energy of the fire, of the passion of coming in. This is about how to take the next step in your spiritual learning, in your spiritual journey, and going forth in it. And with it, we got the Judgment card reversed. Sometimes it's going to be very difficult to rise up to the occasion, to rise up to what you need to do. So you got to just take one step at a time and don't try and overdo anything. The Judgment card reversed. Yeah, not everything's going to go the way that you think it's going to go. Not everything's going to work the way that you want going to go. This is about facing the inner truth. This is about looking at the burdens that are there. And in facing the inner truth, you find that spiritual warrior within inside of yourself to step in. This is about practicing each day your visualization, your meditation. That's what this is. Practicing it, doing it. Don't put it aside. Have a practice. And this is where you're going to find the path is going to find, you're going to find the path and the power to be limitless. And you're going to have the infinite power and know that it's there. So there you guys go. Have a blessed one, everybody. And may the Lord Almighty watch over and bless each and every one of you. Be safe out there. It is crazy. It's another crazy, chaotic weekend as we're going into everything. And don't second guess yourself, please. Don't second guess yourself. It's going to be another nutty weekend. Do you think they want people to lose their minds? Of course they want people to lose their minds. Of course they do. Because this is, in losing your mind, that means I can control you, right? If you don't have a strong will and a strong mind, they can take over, right? And having that determination within oneself. It's amazing some of the stories I've read of people that, from Poland and Russia, prior to World War II, and what they had to go through and their determination to continue on, even in horrific circumstances and threats being made upon their life. And the biggest thing that kept, in each one of them, in each story I'm reading, that kept them going was their devotion to their God and keeping that devotion to God. And that's what keeps people going. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, we're going to have, and it's not, unfortunately, you're going to have a lot more that are going to try and kill themselves or wanting to leave. And sometimes we make it too easy for people. And we have also come into a society that doesn't make people accountable. When you're not held accountable for your actions, then you are just willy-nilly doing whatever the fuck you want to do. When you're not holding people accountable for their drinking, for their drug use, or what have you, then you start seeing a society that doesn't that starts to fall apart. You start seeing, oh, you want to believe this, and you want to believe that you're a fucking cat. Okay, no, I mean, I remember Mateus at 3 going around, meow meow. No, you're not a cat. Get up. You know, I'm sorry, you're not a cat. Somebody, oh, that's so cute. No, well, yeah, it's cute if he's doing some little play or whatever. But no, you're 3 years old. I'm teaching you that you are a human being. You have 2 feet. You walk on your 2 feet. Holding people accountable. And that's where, because the people will get mental imbalance because they're showing that, oh, well, where can I go? What can I do? Well, there's nothing else to do because nobody's really, nobody really cares. Nobody gives a shit. Oh, they're telling me that I can do MAID here in Canada and I could just go kill myself. Fuck that. No, you can't. You cannot go and just fucking kill yourself. You're needed here on this earth. And there's people here that love you. And that's what the other thing. Love is the greatest thing of people. Louis Pascalio talked about love, and he taught a course, and he was a big Italian man, eh? And he even, and he did studies with children, and watching these studies with children and stuff. And one of the ones that, one that stuck out, what he talked about, and I remember his PBS specials as a kid. That's how old I am. But when he was talking about this one family, and this little girl was just like having a fit and getting angry and smacking and people and stuff like that. And all he wanted to do is take that little girl and hug her, right? And he went up and he says, because they were just supposed to be observing the interactions with the family, and he couldn't do it anymore. He just wanted to hug her. And he went in there and he goes, I just want to give you a hug. And she goes, ew, why would you want to do that? And he goes, I just want to show you love. And she goes, ew, that's not love. And that sort of really made him see whatever you are given, right, from a child on up, whatever kind of abuse or things that you are given and you are taught as a young child, that's what you believe love is. And the greatest gift, the true love, is loving somebody with all their faults and all their failings, no matter what. Loving somebody for truly who they are. Yet, love is also about holding people responsible for their actions. Holding that mother who threw her baby out of the fucking window responsible. Holding the people who rioted and saying, oh, you can't do that. What? It's okay to do that? It's not. You guys aren't rioting because they're coming in to protect them. You're rioting over something else. You're rioting over something else. But that was the excuse and that was the trigger point. But all of them have to be held accountable, including that MP that was in the middle of it. When you see people who are, when they go into the psych ward now, you're not held in the psych ward for like a couple months. You're held in the psych ward for 10 days. 10 days. And then they release you. And if you don't have a place to go, well, too bad, so sad, you get to go on the street. In LA, they started, Skid Row was started in the 70s because they thought it was inhumane to house people. Inhumane. Now, when people are taken out of the hospital and they have no place to go in LA, what do? They drop them. The ambulance actually takes them out and drops them on the street corner. That's inhumane. That's when you're not taking responsibility for your community. You're not taking responsibility for anything. You're just like, oh, fuck it. Let the streets figure it out. That's the awakening. That's why people are killing themselves, because people have to start saying, no, you got to take responsibility. We all have to take responsibility, because once you know, you are 100% responsible for it. Even though you might not be able to be the counselor, but you can Ho'oponopono it and send Ho'oponopono to that energy, to that frequency. You could shokore it. You can hanshe se shonen and send the shokore seihiki. Send the love. Send, and if you don't want to do that, say a prayer. Say the Our Father. Say the Hail Mary. Do a decade of the Rosary. If you don't want to do the Rosary, you could do the mala beads. Whatever floats your fucking boat, right? But it's starting to take the responsibility. Setting in prayer. That's why prayer and our spiritual life is so important, because that's what's going to make a huge difference in our world. And it's a hard fucking bullet to bite. But a lot of people don't want to bite it. They don't want to do it. Yeah, look at the person smells. Yeah, well, you fucking smell too if you stayed on the fucking street. No, I don't believe in handing out drugs to people. I don't believe in having a clean place for people to shoot up. No, I believe in people having to hold accountability and taking those people and showing them a better way of living. And when you do that, a lot of them haven't ever had that. Never in their life. So many studies have shown that. But that's how you know our society is crumbling. And our society has to crumble. People have to die. As I said, the gateway that's open is the gateway of victims. And we're going to have a hell of a lot of victims over the next several years that are going to pave the way for our awakening. And it's horrible. It's something that when I sit and I really hang on to it, I cry, but then I got to send it the love, and I got to give it up to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle for the changes to come through. And that's it. Telling a little girl who's a tomboy, oh, you need puberty blockers. Fuck off. She wants to climb a tree. Let her climb a tree. She wants to wear boy clothes. Let her wear boy clothes. Right? I was a tomboy. Like, fuck. I was a tomboy in a dress because I didn't want to wear pants. So my mom had made special underwear for me so I could climb a tree so nobody could see my knickers. But that's the whole thing, that's part of it. But it's that allowing. Yeah, and there's a lot of young boys who are very feminine who want to watch Vogue. Okay, you want to watch Vogue, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give you fucking puberty blockers so you become a girl. You might become the next, I don't know, Yves Saint Laurent, designer. Or you might become the next queen and become the most famous singer in the world. Who knows? But it's allowing people and having them hold that responsibility. That's a hard one. So, love you guys all. May the Lord Almighty watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you be. If you agree with me, lovely. If you don't agree with me, lovely. Just, you know what? You can talk about it below, have a conversation, be kind, be loving to one another, and that's the most important thing. Like, subscribe, and be a part of my community. God bless, and the Goddess bless. Bye-bye.